And hello there, how are you today? Terry Brock here for Dental Nachos. It's time once again for that 2 o'clock hour on Tuesday when we're talking tech tips with Terry, Tuesday at 2. And today, you're going to love this. We're talking about something that's really important for all of us. Hey, you ever get frustrated with technology? You're using technology and it's just not doing what it should. Well, hey, I had that happen this morning with my smartphone, with my regular service internet connection here, and a few other things. It was like, oh no, the demons are coming after us. I want to show you some ways that you can get around that and how you're going to be able to do a whole lot, and you're just going to cheer and applaud. Yeah. We're going to make it work, because what we're going to do is we're going to say, all right, whatever it takes, we're going to apply it, and it'll be just like magic, and make it work for you in a really good way, because we're going to show dental offices how they can take the technology and really use it in the right way. Make sure that it's going to get the results and get the job done for you. And we're doing that, by the way, today using Restream, our good friends over at Restream, who are helping us on this to make this possible. So we can go out to Facebook and to LinkedIn and to Twitter, and of course here on Facebook we're able to go into the Dental Nachos group and a couple other places too. But we'd recommend for you looking into something like that, look at Restream. It's a great little tool. And by the way, use that little code there, the bit.ly Restream for you. Notice the number 4. I'll put it over here, number 4 over there. That way you get the extra credit of $10, and I'll get a couple coins that way too. But put that toward the Dental Nachos fund of making things work, and we'll do even better. Well, so what we want to do today is we want to talk about a lot of the things that dental offices go through, and that is with the frustration of technology. And there's certain technical principles that you can use, but even more important, certain mental ways of looking at it, so that you can get beyond that. It really comes down to thinking it through. I think that we've got to have the right mental state. And if we do that, we're going to make it. I want to share some things with you that are really based on sound psychological principles, as well as some good technologies that are going to help you to get ahead and get to move forward. So what we've done is today I put together my fancy schmancy show here. I was even showing this in the preview. 5 steps to vanquish your tech frustration. And I'm even going to beam over here. I have Scotty beam me over. There we go. Get right over here in this. And in this, we're going to be able to talk with you about how you can use these kinds of technologies and be able to get the things done with it. And by the way, what I'm doing here is I'm using my iPad and running the presentation through eCam. By using eCam, that's E-C-A-M-M, it gives me the ability to control this. And so I'm saying that for those of you who might be using presentations, that you can use Zoom, yes, and you can share a screen, but I'm not sharing screen right now. I'm taking an eCam presentation, putting it on full screen here this way so that you get an even better picture of everything as it's going. So we'll make sure that it gets even better. It's something you might want to look into as well and work with it. So the key is, what you want to do is you want to be ready. You want to start getting ready for it. You've got to work for it. You know, if you can't just wish for it. If you wish for it, it's not going to happen. You have to actually do the work. Get in there, do those push-ups, make it happen. And when you do that and start putting in the right steps, you're going to be able to get the right technology, deploy it in the right way, and make it happen. That's what we've been doing here at Dental Nachos. Working with Dr. Paul and his team, we're making sure that we implement the right way and in the right way, and then practice with it too. Because sometimes you know what it's like. You're over there and you got to make a decision on something. You're wondering what to do. You're wondering, oh my, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Which way do I go? And then all of a sudden you get the answer. And you go, okay, hey, I get the idea. What we got to do is we got to move in a different direction. So here's what I want to share with you. 5 steps that you can use. And then first one is know your mission and your objectives. As a practicing dentisting human, a dental professional, we like to say that, as Dr. Paul Nachos talks about that. Dr. Paul Goodman, we call him Dr. Nachos affectionately here, talks about the way that you can use this and how you can start doing it. Know what it is that you're about. You are there, of course, to serve patients, to help them. And you want to make sure that you provide that quality care in a safe way today. That's been accentuated and really underlined more than ever over the last year with COVID-19. And I think by demonstrating that and using technology to let your patients and prospective patients know what's going on, what you're doing, the steps that you're taking to keep your office safe, is being proactive. That's where technology comes in, particularly something I'm going to mention in just a moment here, the video. Video gives you that ability to make it really, really sparkle and shine and to do a lot more. Now, what you're going to do is as you build your plan for this, you want to make sure you get input from a lot of different people. I would recommend that you get input from people that are involved in many different ways. Matter of fact, here, let me bounce over to this screen here. You'll want to get input from many different others. I find that it's important to do that. When I went to business school, we talked about a lot of things, the importance of collaboration and sharing ideas and making decisions by a group and groups of people making those decisions, asking people what they need, what technology are they using? What would they like to do? And then we think, okay, what technology can we get to make that happen? As you do that, you're overcoming that fear and frustration with technology because you're taking control of it. You're learning what to do. As we often have frustration with something, it's because we lack the confidence to work with it. We have a lack of confidence of, can we do this? Can we not do it? And I found the very best way to build more confidence is to get more competence. Be more competent. Understand more what's going on. Talk to the people who know what they're doing, people that are using it and using the technologies right now. You'll want to work with that and figure out how you can do it. Number two, think solutions, not just tools. What do I mean by that? Well, too often I think people think about what they're going to do. They think, well, should I get this iPhone or should I get this surgery tool or should this drill or this kind of thing? Step back first and understand what is it that we're trying to accomplish. Lay out those goals and objectives, the kinds of activities that you want. I think it was Peter Drucker who said it very well. He said that 90% of solving a problem is defining it. Find out what it is that you're trying to do. Write down the plan. Get real explicit. Now, you notice we haven't even touched on technology yet. We're using brain power, and we're using the right methodology to understand what we need to do. How do we do this? What are we going to do? What are we really trying to accomplish here in all of that? And that's where it comes in, using the ideas of think of solutions, not just tools. And yes, there are a bunch of wonderful tools out there that we love. We get a chance to use those, and we find that they work for us in many different ways. We can look at these, the calculators that are available here, as well as laptops and tools, and we're using those at Dental Nachos. But think about the solutions that you want to accomplish, not just the tools, and then we move on to the tools of what they're going to be and how we can use them and make them work. And we have to keep adapting. I like the way the United States Marine Corps says it when they say we must improvise, adapt, and overcome. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's a real key that's built into Marines as they build Marines and make them strong. They learn to say, okay, this is what's happening, rather than saying, oh, gee, I wish the situation was ideal. I wish everything was perfect for me. Well, it doesn't work that way on planet Earth. So to deal with the frustration of technology, we learn more about it. We learn more, we start working with it, and we practice a lot. That's a key. Practice is something you want to do. I love the way that my buddy Harvey McKay talks about it. He's written some bestsellers on the New York Times list and knows what he's talking about. He says, people say, practice makes perfect. That's not true. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you keep doing the wrong thing over and over and practicing it the wrong way, you're not only not going to get any better, you're also going to lock in some bad habits. Get the training, get the help, build that competence that you'll need, and that will then build the confidence that you need with technology. And we're going to be vanquishing that frustration that way as well. What we're going to be doing is learning how to do this. And by the way, one of the things that's happening today is artificial intelligence. We're seeing a lot of this coming about in many ways. I took this picture, right? You're looking at right here. That is a picture of a robot that is owned by the Taiwanese government. I was at their special booth here at a computer show, Consumer Electronics Show, a little while ago, and notice what's happening. The robot is playing chess with yet another really smart guy. There was a bunch of really smart guys that do chess. I don't play chess myself, but I like studying what the others are doing. But see what they're doing, how they're doing it. And you know what happened? The robot was playing chess against these people using just that hood. You can see there's a monitor there as it's pointing down, kind of like a head pointing down there, and it studies the board and it knows what to do and what not to do. And the robot won every game that I saw there. And then also, do you notice over there, just to the right of the robot's hand, there's a little coffee mug there. And what that was is the robot was also serving coffee, so that the robot would pour coffee for people if they wanted it. Pretty handy. Now, why do I say that? Well, I say that because that's important. If we're making those kind of advancements in technology with robotics, with AI and robotics stuck together, empowering, that's going to give you a lot of capabilities to get more done. You're going to be able to do more. Start thinking about it now. Start studying that. Now's the time to get in there and realize, okay, we've got some real possibilities coming down the road. They're going to help us to do even more and get ahead. But what it takes is a mindset that says, I can do that. I can get ahead. This is a mindset that is covered quite a bit in a book called Mindset by Professor Carol Dweck. She is has her doctorate in psychology. She's a professor over at Stanford out in California. And she talks about the mindset, changing the way that you look to fulfill your potential. And I love the way she talks about two types of mindset. One, she says here, let me get out of the way here so you can see this a little bit better. There are two main mindsets we can navigate with life with, a growth and fixed. Having a growth mindset is essential for success. She goes on to say in the book, which I recommend highly that you look into this book, Mindset, that those that have the growth mindset are the ones that when something bad happens to them, they go, yeah, that happened. They accept it. They understand it. What can I learn from that? How can I get better? I had this bad thing happen. I did this wrong. Maybe something happened out here that was not my fault, but it nevertheless happened. What can I do to get better? How can I improve on that? Versus the fixed mindset. Now, the fixed mindset is the one you don't want. That's the one that says, oh, gee, I can't do it. I'm no good. Now, I'm no psychologist, but psychologists tell us you start thinking that way and believing that to your own intrapersonal communication, the thinking that goes on in your head, you're spiraling downward. Instead of saying that, you want the growth mindset that says, I'm going to figure it out. By the way, another trait of those that have the fixed mindset is that they think, oh, gee, these people over here are picking on me. It's just up to them. They fixed the game. It's terrible. It's bad. They've done this bad thing there. That's why I can't get ahead. That's a fixed mindset. And Carol Dweck, big psychologist that she is, tells us we don't need to accept that. Instead, we can embrace science that we can make it better. So that helps in vanquishing the technology problems that we have and how we can deal with those. We can make sure that we're doing much better on that. Here's another book that I'd highly recommend also from Angela Duckworth. She also is a psychologist. She also is a professor, not at Stanford, but on the other side of the country, over there in a little town called Philadelphia, which we at Dental Nachos know about. Yep, that's where it's based, up there. And she is a professor of psychology at the Wharton School, and talks about this concept of grit. We've heard about grit before, and it's that spizzerinctum attitude. There's a word I like. I've heard that somewhere. Spizzerinctum. Get out there and go for it, and you work hard. The power of passion and persistence. She said something in that book I think you'll enjoy. Grit, passion, and perseverance for long-term goals. That's how she defines grit. I think that's good. I love the way she says it, that it's not really so much those who are the most intelligent naturally that do well. You know, the kids that ruined the curve for us in college, those ones, well, these are not the people that always get ahead. It's good to have that. But those that have that grit and that determination to keep trying, that's what matters. And that is part of what you'll need to vanquish that fear and frustration with technology. You figure it out. You realize, okay, can't get this dad burn thing to go, or maybe you'll be using some other more colorful phrases. I can't get this thing to go. It's not working. That's not working. You can choose to be upset. You can choose to be frustrated. You can choose to get your blood pressure up, to get all frustrated about it. Or you can choose to remain calm and let your mind be more relaxed so that it can come up with a better answer. So you can find the right resources and do it right. It's your choice. And I encourage you to look at the positive choice that Angela Duckworth would talk about and that Carol Dweck would talk about as well. Here, go back here, Carol Dweck. Write this down. Mindset by Carol Dweck is a book you definitely want to look into. And Angela Duckworth's book, Grit. Both of them really good. I've read them both and love them to pieces. Number 3, invest your TME for the best solutions. That's the time, your money, and your energy. You want to invest that. If you're not going to get far. And that's where it really separates the winners from the losers. Because you see, those that are the losers, people who choose to be losers, are the ones who say, I can't do it, I'll just give up. Or they're saying, I want it for free. I don't want to put any time into it. I'm not going to put any money into it. And I'm definitely not going to put any energy into it. But I want it. You owe it to me. Well, that doesn't work on planet Earth. Okay, it hasn't for, let's say about 15 billion years, and it won't for the next 15 billion years. You've got to do it yourself. You've got to make the right decisions, and in technology, get the right kinds of technology that'll help you to move ahead and to get the kinds of things that are going to be most valuable to you. So what you'll do is you'll be working with that, and then as you work with it, you come up with ideas. You think about it, and you're going to be high-fiving your friends, saying, yes, we have done it. We made the right investment and succeeded in it. I love the way that Ben Franklin said it. Another good Philadelphia boy as well, when he said, and you want to write this down, you want to screenshot this one, empty the coins in your purse into your mind, and your mind will fill your purse with coins. Hey, that's tweetable, and I think it's already been tweeted a few times. You want to take it, run with it, go for it. And I think he was right there. Take those coins and invest. Be willing to do that. When you're doing that, then you're putting your heart and soul into it. If you don't put much into it and everything's free, it doesn't mean as much. When you're paying for it, it does matter. So put those coins into learning how to use the technology, investing in that, and that will help to vanquish that frustration as well. See, what we've got to do is we've got to embrace an attitude of continuous learning and adapting. Always learning, always going back for more training, learning that is relevant. Not just training about anything, but relevant training where you're going to be able to use that in your skills to get ahead and to do better in your profession of dentisting or whatever skill and profession you might have. And here's number 4. Make support an integral part of your decision. You see, today, you want to get software and applications that give you the ability to get help when you need it. That kind, wonderful person on the other end there with the headset on usually, and they're talking and they're taking help. Boy, we love them. We love them to pieces. I have an Apple iPhone 11. I also have a Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. And every so often, I need to talk to people there. I can get in touch with them and find out what's going on. Sometimes they're swamped. And they are. Like today, I called back to get some support from Samsung, and apparently a new release came out from Google, and it's really causing a lot of delay, and I had like a 2-hour wait delay, they said. Well, I didn't stick around for 2 hours. I'll try later. Usually it's like 5 minutes or so. But these things happen. This is the way it is. They do a brilliant job at Samsung, really professional. The same thing at Apple. I found I love it when I call in my Apple iPhone or my MacBook Pro or my iPad, which I'm using right now, and I'll be able to get that help. But you want that support. And not only do you want it from good vendors, but also support that you can tap into with people you know. Some good technicians. You can pick up the phone, you can get on the Zoom call and say, hey, Margaret, it's not working. If Margaret's your person, that you can do that. Hey, Bob might be your person you're working with, whoever it is. They help you and they get to know those kind of details. And by the way, one thing I've learned, don't depend on only one person. No one can know everything about everything. You want people who will be able to help you in different areas so that you can do that. One of the ways that we do that here at Dental Nachos is we provide you with some of our sponsors that are out there helping people. They do a great job, like for instance, Local Med. I had a chance to interview Tom Brown a little while ago, and they provide the system so that you as a dentist can have your patients book their appointments 24/7, much like you'd book an airline. Well, they've got it there for that. Day One, also really good folks there are doing advertising, studying what dentists want, how to make that happen. And Kerner. Look at the Kerner Center for Surgical Instruction, learning a lot of ideas and practical applications, kind of like implants and other areas too. Dr. Kerner was talking about that. I had an interview with him as well, and talked about that. Now, this is the kind of support that is there. Matter of fact, go over to dentalnachos.com. If you go over to dentalnachos.com, and then look at our support, the sponsors that we have, you'll see that there are some really good folks that can help you out. They have been carefully vetted, carefully selected to give you maximum value in the work that you're doing in your dentist. And so what you want to do now is you want to focus on what you do best. You do dentisting. So you get in there, do the dentisting. I love the way Paul Goodman says that. You're doing that. You're making sure that your patients are happy, that they are having good oral health, the checkups are going well, things are going right as they should, and that way everyone wins. And number five, leverage tech to build your standard operating procedures. You see, you want to use that technology and make it happen. Make that a part of what you're doing on a regular basis. You want to use that. And by the way, a real sneaky thing you can do that we're using a lot here at Dental Nachos is voice. Using voice recognition and Siri. The tools that you have in your hand, it's amazing. You can access answers and get answers faster than the President of the United States could just a few years ago. Now you get that answer. You can use this. But here's something to remember. We talked about this a lot. Let me scoop my little picture smaller. Think about it. You can talk faster than you can write. That's true. And you go, well, yes, what does that mean, Terry? Well, then when you can talk into a machine that will transcribe what you're saying, they can do that with Siri on iPhone. We can do that with Google, with Samsung Notes. We can do it on our Macs with Siri. We can do it in many places. Google Docs does it with voice typing. Find ways to do that. Use that to get ahead, and you're going to be able to do a whole lot more. And part of that, by the way, is also with the magic of video. Video does this very well. Let me make this full screen there. Yeah, video gives you the ability to tap into a lot. And we're doing that now at Dental Nachos. It's not just for TV anymore. No, it's now for a whole lot more. I remember a little while ago, I was in St. Petersburg, Russia. And I remember walking down Nevsky Prospect. It's a platform there in Russia at a street, actually a street, very famous street, wonderful place with a lot of great restaurants and bars. And I remember I was walking down the street, looking at all the restaurants, and then I saw a sign in English, and it said, vodka, it's not just for breakfast anymore. And I thought, oh, hey, I like this already. So what you want to do is you want to look at video, realizing, hey, it's not just TV anymore. There's a whole lot you can do with that. We're using it for conferences, of course. Conferences of people using Zoom, that's working very well today. And Zoom doing very well with that. And so I think that using those kinds of tools are very good. Eric Wan, the person who put this together, developed it, really had some good information. And I've got a video that I've put together with a story, an interview with him. If you're interested in that, drop me a note and I'll be happy to send you a link so you can see that, how it works and what he said. Brilliant guy about using the communication. Now here's a tool that we also use here at Dental Nachos. It's called Loom, L-O-O-M. If you're not using this now, you want to get it. It gives you the ability to have personal email messages. Now that is really nice. Those personal email messages give you the ability to get a lot done, and you send it, you're expressing who you are. Right now, for instance, I'm giving you information. Every word I'm saying could be transcribed and sent to you in text, but you get the inflection. You get the motion. You get me fooling around, moving around like it. Yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. I know. They put up with me at Dental Nachos. They're really good to do that. But think about the way you can communicate even better with video. You can do that. Also, you can develop your office standard operating procedures. You can video those. So if you want to say, here's how we do this thing, you go over it and create the video that way and making sure it's working. You can have endless how-to instructional videos. Hey, that can save a lot of frustration and hassle when you're working with it. And finally, I want to leave you with some wisdom from my sensei. That, of course, is a word that means teacher in Japanese. I was fortunate enough that when I was a young kid, my mom and dad got me involved in Kodokan Judo. My instructor was Toyoji Matsumoto-san. He was from Tokyo, Japan, and he was quite a guy. He was a guy that taught us many things about that. He and another person that worked with him, Jim Cornforth, taught me much about what I know about judo and also persistence in life. But there was one time I remember that he gave us a lesson. This Toyoji Matsumoto-san, the instructor from Japan, when he came into the room, and there were 5 of us seated at the mat, the tatami, we call that's the mat. We were sitting there in what we call the seizan position, sitting down there on our knees, and he came in with a basketball. And he said, young men, there were 5 of us guys there, young kids, about 12, 13 years old. Young men, you must always be like a ball. We thought, what in the world is he talking about here? Some kind of ancient Japanese ritual or something? He took a basketball and he said, you see this ball? I move it forward, it's still in balance. I move it back. It's still in balance. Side to side, it's still in balance. That's how you must think. Always be in balance. If you're attacked from behind, you remember which throw to use to take care of yourself. If you're attacked from the front, you're able to grab and to move in the right way to defend yourself. If you're attacked from the sides or both sides at the same time, learn what to do. Even if you fall down, think like a ball, be like a ball, and roll with those punches. That's what he taught us, and that is what you and I need to do as well. What we have to do is, I think we have got to sit down and look at how we're going to adapt and how we are going to do this. This advice from my Japanese instructor, I think, is still sage and very important for us today, and that is to be like a ball, never off balance. Always remain in control by learning and increasing your competency, which will increase your confidence. And by the way, to help on that also, I've got something I want to make available to you. You go to terrybrock.com/5K. Notice the K is in lowercase. A free course, no charge at all, that's going to give you a lot. It's called Create Compelling Quality Content Quickly. Get it? 5K with those words? Yeah, okay. So it's that way, compelling content, how to get ideas and publish an analysis, specific tools to use, and creative ideas for you. All that is there. You might be familiar with the Confucius saying, very famous. And he said, it takes 20 years, the best time to plant that tree, 20 years ago. 20 years to grow it, that's the best time to plant it. But the second best time is right now. And so the time for you is right now. Get out there and do it. This is how you get ahead and take those 5 steps on how you can vanquish this frustration. It's going to give you the ability to do a whole lot more and be able to succeed in this. I'm Terry Brock for Dental Nachos. Thank you very much for joining me today and look forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment. If you're watching this on recording, leave us a comment. We want to hear from you that way. And if you're here live, we really appreciate the comments you've left there for us as well. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you.